right, fifth graders, now we are going to cover volume. So we're moving on to volume. So this one, our learning goal is I will be able to find the volume of prisms using the formula V equals B times H. One of the things you'll notice here is that I have my capital V, which means volume, and the capital B, which means the area of the base. Otherwise, you could do base times width times height. So the area of the base times the width times the height. You multiply the three of them together. All right, so some lesson notes to take place is volume measures the amount of space that three-dimensional shapes take up. So in area, we are measuring the amount of space that two-dimensional shapes take up, and those are plane figures. Now we're talking about three-dimensional shapes. The formula for this is length times width times height, and it can be used to work out the volume of regular shapes. This one you can also use blocks, but in this case, instead of squares, we are using three-dimensional blocks to figure out volume. And in this case, the answer is always given in cubic units, so we will cube all of our units. So let's take a look at these two pictures. In this one, we are measuring volume, because not only are we measuring the base and the width, or the length and the width of a two-dimensional, we are including height. So height is the space upward that it takes. So in this case, we only see 9 squares on the top, but each of those squares represents a box of matches. So that would be 9 boxes. We can also see here that they're 2 high, so we have 18 individual boxes of matches. On this one, we have 2 less. Or we have additional. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 on the top. And then 2 extra on the bottom would give it 22. So we would have 22. So the volume of A would be 18 match boxes, and the volume of B would be 22 match boxes. So the number of boxes is known as the volume of each stack. It's the amount of space taken up by the stack. All right, so I want you to take a look at this. So take a look at each shape and figure out what is the volume in match boxes of each of those shapes, and then come back and see if yours matches mine. So pause it and label them. All right, so as you can see, we have 3 boxes, or 3 stacks that look very different, but their volume is the same because we're measuring the amount of space each of these boxes take place. Here we have 10, 6, and 7. When you're looking for the volume of regular shapes, the formula is length times breadth times height. Now sometimes you'll see breadth also written as width. The other thing to notice is that length plus width is also the formula for area. So we represent that by doing a capital B times H. And that capital B means the area of the base. All right, so let's take a look at these since we're working with measurements and we're working with cubes. So when you're doing volume, you're counting the number of cubes that are in there. So on this one, for example, we count 2 cubes across, 2 cubes up, 2 cubes back. So it's 2 times 2 times 2. On this one, 2 cubes across, 2 cubes up, and 1, 2, 3 cubes back. So we would have 2 times 2 times 3 to find the area. On this one, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cubes across, 1, 2 cubes up, 2 cubes back. So we have 2 times 2 times 5. This is how we would find the area of these shapes. So let's go through finding the area of each of those. So if we start on our first one, we have 2 across, 2 up, 2 back. So it's 2 times 2 times 2, which would be 8 centimeters. And there it is important that we have our cubed, because we are measuring in cubes. You have these imaginary lines back here because those are cubes. We have 8 cubes in this one. All right, this one we had 2 by 3 by 2. So we would have Yeah, it's a little bit weird. We have our 2 by 3 by 2. 2 times 3 is 6. 6 times 2, 12 cm cubed. All right, if we check it, 2 times 3 times 2. All right, in our third one, we have 5 times 2 times 2. 5 times 2 times 2. 5 times 2 is 10. 10 times 2 is 20 cm cubed. And let's do our check. 20 cm cubed. And that is volume. So volume is pretty basic. It's the area of the bottom times the height, because you're adding volume to it. You're adding height to it.